Forget New Year, New You. This season is about slowing down, locking the doors, and cozying up at home with the one you really want to do nothing with. Your dog. After the holiday chaos, those quiet nights with a blanket, a podcast, and your pup feel like the reset you actually need. Ollie helps make those moments easier with fresh protein-packed meals made from real human-grade ingredients, so your dog can enjoy some quality comfort food too. Choose from 5 recipes and get a personalized plan for your dog's needs. Meals arrive perfectly proportioned with a scoop and storage container, so serving is fast and mess-free. And with Ollie's in-app on-demand health screenings, supporting your dog is easy, ensuring more cuddles for many years to come. Visit ollie.com/truecrime and use code TRUECRIME for 60% off your first box.
A frustrated accuser on the stand. The state of California's star witness.
Yo, you're annoying, bro. Just come on. We need to get to the case. What are we doing here?
A high-profile defendant.
As you have heard throughout jury selection, Mr. Myers is an entertainer, and he goes by the stage name A$AP Rocky.
Arguments between the defense attorneys and prosecutors.
No, now you're interrupting him. Just that you were complaining about him interrupting you. You're interrupting him. Don't.
You may have seen the headlines about the trial of A$AP Rocky, most notably an American rapper and singer, not to mention partner to Rihanna, another incredibly famous singer. A$AP Rocky, whose real name is Rakeem Mayers, went on trial in February 2025, facing 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. This is after he turned down a plea deal, which would have given him 180 days in jail. Now, heading into trial, he was facing years in prison. This all stemmed from an incident in November 2021 in Hollywood, California, where prosecutors say A$AP Rocky fired a gun at his former friend, Terrell Efron, known as A$AP Relly.
Hi, I live in the apartment on the corner of Argyle and Selma in Hollywood, and there's just been a shooting.
This is Jillian in partnership with Law and Crime. You are listening to Court Junkie, episode 287. Assistant District Attorney Paul Bradley Pislomic gave the opening statements for the prosecution. He told the jury right away that the events of November 6, 2021 were captured on surveillance video. He played a video taken at 10:10 p.m., just outside a parking garage entrance on Argyle, between Hollywood Boulevard and Selma.
The shooting, as you've seen, occurred just outside of a parking lot on that corner of Vista, Del Mar, and Selma. That was a parking lot at the time that was full of cars, and it was ringed by a nightclub on the corner, a sound studio, a hotel, and 3 different apartment buildings right around. As I said, densely populated. This was also Saturday night. Saturday, November 6, 2021, at about 10 p.m. in Hollywood. This is a time that Hollywood is busy.
The video was just a couple seconds long. In it, you can see a man wearing a black sweatshirt with a skull on it, adjusting what looks like a possible firearm in their waistband.
Now, the evidence in this case will be that the man in the black sweatshirt was the defendant, Rakeem Myers. That evidence will be uncontradicted.
Pislomic told the jury that A$AP Rocky also goes by the names of Flacco and Luigi. At the time of the incident, he was 33 years old. Pislomic explained that the victim in the case, the accuser, is Terrell Efron, also known as A$AP Relly. Relly was also 33 and knew Rocky since they were 18 or 19 years old.
The group that both of these men were members of is called A$AP. It doesn't stand for what you probably thought it did when you walked into court. It's an acronym for Always Strive and Prosper. It was formed by high school age kids in Harlem, New York around 2006. They call themselves a collective. You will hear are rappers, producers, music video directors, designers, people that have different artistic pursuits that essentially work together. And there are many members of ASAP. The ones that you will primarily hear in this case are obviously Mr. Mayers, the victim, but also the two friends that were with Mr. Mayers at the time this happened. And they go by ASAP Ills and ASAP 12E. And I will just pre-warn you that 12E gets spelled a bunch of different ways. It's not always consistent. And there will be one last member that you'll hear about briefly, who goes by the stage name ASAP Bari. Sometimes people refer to him as Young Lord.
He said the four men who were present that night were Rocky, Relly, Ills, and 12E. He told the jury there was a music festival called Complex Con in Long Beach that Rocky was supposed to perform at the following day, November 7th.
Now, although I told you that Mr. Mayers and Mr. Efron were close at one point, you will hear that throughout their relationship, there was tension between the two of them. And that tension was essentially building up to the night of November 6th, 2021. You will not hear all the reasons why there was tension between the two of them, but we will get to the point the day before this shooting, November 5th, 2021, when that tension kind of comes to a head. But what happens on that day, Mr. Efron will tell you, is that he is in a car with that last member of the ASAP group that I talked about, ASAP Bari. The two of them are driving when ASAP Bari receives a phone call from Mr. Mayers. And ASAP Bari takes that call on speakerphone, so Mr. Efron, who's in the car, can hear both sides of the conversation. He can hear Mr. Mayers and he can also hear ASAP Bari.
He said during that call, Relly heard Rocky talking badly about him. The following day, on November 6th, Relly was in LA, working with one of the artists he manages. He was asleep around 9 p.m. when he received a series of urgent messages from Rocky, Ills, and 12E. He also had a number of missed calls from them. Pizlomic said the messages from Rocky were aggressive. "Where you at? Let's get to it." And "Stop ducking my calls." They agreed to meet outside the W Hotel in Hollywood. Pizlomic said Relly had expected them to meet up, each say their piece, fight like brothers do, and then repair the issues they had with each other. He then showed videos of the encounter to the jury. One was a close-up in which you can see a man wearing a grayish-black sweatshirt with a white design on the back, whom Pizlomic said was Relly, approach. Then another man, whom Pizlomic identified as Rocky, came into view and they began to tussle.
You see on the video that Mr. Mayers is immediately aggressive towards Mr. Efron. He's pulling at Mr. Efron's sweatshirt and he's pushing Mr. Efron backward and pushes him off camera, out of camera view.
The two men have their arms out in front of each other, pushing and shoving. Ills then comes into view as the men go off screen.
And you can see that Ills is the first one to intervene to try to separate the two of them. And then at the very bottom of the screen, you see 12E putting his hand to try to also intervene and help separate them.
Pizlomic told the jury that during the short period of time when the men go off screen, Rocky produced a semi-automatic pistol from his waistband and pointed it at Relly while threatening to kill him.
He will tell you that had this been a stranger, someone he didn't know as well, he would have been petrified. As you can imagine, anyone pointing a gun at you would upset you. But he knows the defendant. He knows that Mr. Mayers is not going to shoot him. He knows so much so that he'll tell you he looked at the defendant and said, "If you brought a gun, you should shoot it."
When the men come back on screen, there appears to be a gun in Rocky's hand.
You will hear that gun that he's holding is a semi-automatic pistol. or has features that are consistent with a semi-automatic pistol. Right now, as he's paused on the screen, you can see that he's holding that gun behind his back. But you will also see the gun come forward in front of his body before he ultimately tucks it back into his waistband. And you will see from the video that there were bystanders. As I said, this is a busy Saturday night in Hollywood, walking by as this confrontation is taking place.
He said afterwards, Relly looked over at 12E. He saw 12E put a pocket knife away before they all then walked away from him.
And Mr. Efron will tell you that at that moment, his mindset about the initial confrontation changed. I told you that Mr. Efron will tell you when he first went there, he believed that this was meant to be a confrontation so that they could strengthen their relationship. But having just had a gun pointed at him and seeing another friend putting away a pocket knife, that his mindset changed, and he understood these men never came here to try to make peace with him, that it was always meant to be a confrontation. And he decided at that moment that having a gun pointed at him was sort of a bridge too far in their friendship, and he understood he was probably never going to have the same friendship, especially with the defendant, ever again. And you will hear that as the defendant walked away, Mr. Efron followed behind him and was yelling and screaming at him, even though he knew the defendant had a gun. Because although Mr. Efron believed this is going to damage our relationship, he still never believed that the defendant would actually shoot at him. It's not as if Mr. Efron will tell you that he had some death wish or that he was not scared of guns. He will not come in and say that. What he will tell you, again, is that had anyone else done this, he would have been frightened. But he had known the defendant for so long, and they were close.
He said Relly followed behind the three men. They turned left on Selma and walked to the intersection of Selma and Vista Del Mar. At 10:17 p.m., as Rocky stepped off the curb, he walked into the frame of another surveillance camera. This was about 1 to 2 blocks away from where their scuffle first was. In this video, in the upper left-hand corner, you can see multiple figures moving around, and you can hear what sounds like 2 gunshots.
As we play the zoomed-in version, you'll also see that Mr. Efron is struggling with ills. And what Mr. Efron will tell you is that immediately as the defendant turned and pointed the gun at him, he jumped behind Ills, essentially to put Ills between him and the defendant. And you'll see on the video the defendant lunging one way and then the other way around Ills, trying to get at the victim who is holding Ills in front of him.
Pizlomic said despite how dangerous the situation was, Relly only sustained a very mild injury.
He has these injuries to the middle knuckle of one of his hands. Mr. Efron will tell you that at the time the shooting was happening, he immediately felt a burning sensation to his hand, which led him to believe that these were graze wounds from one of the bullets that was shot at him. Perhaps they were. Perhaps they were not. Whether or not the victim in this case was actually shot or injured by this will not be something that you have to decide at the end of the case. We ask you to wait until the end of the case when the judge instructs you on the law, what elements are actually required to be proven before you make any decision. And to listen to the charges specifically and not consider charges that the defendant is not charged with. In this case, he's not charged with attempted murder, for instance.
He said about an hour after the shooting, Relly returned with his girlfriend to the site where the shooting occurred. Pizlomic said he wanted to find evidence.
And Mr. Efron will tell you, because he knew exactly where the shooting happened, that he was able to locate 2 fired cartridge cases. And this is actually a photograph that Mr. Efron himself took of one of the fired cartridge cases that he found. Mr. Efron, you'll hear, went to the police 2 days later, walked into the Hollywood police station to report this crime happening. He brought the 2 fired cartridge cases with him, and he gave them to the police. You will hear that the 2 cartridge cases that he brought in were 9mm Luger caliber cartridge cases. We've already told you in jury selection, and you will hear evidence, that after this shooting, Mr. Efron sought money from Mr. Mayers. In fact, hours after the shootings, this is the next day, November 7th, in the early morning hours, 3:40 a.m., you'll hear that Mr. Efron sent a message to one of his friends saying that he wants money. And identifying the reason why he wants that money is because Mr. Mayers shot at him. You will also hear that based upon these 2 incidents, the parking lot and the shooting on the corner, that Mr. Efron filed a civil lawsuit against Mr. Mayers.
He told the jury that Rocky's home was searched in April 2022.
During that search, LAPD detective recovered a magazine for a semi-automatic pistol that was 9mm caliber, and that it was loaded with 6 unfired 9mm Luger rounds of live ammunition. You will hear that these items were found in Mr. Mayer's bedroom closet. You will also hear that there was no handgun that was 9mm in Mr. Mayer's home that was for that magazine. So you have a 9mm magazine, but no handgun to go with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is about one man's jealousy, lies, and greed. And that man is not Rocky. That man's Terrell Efron, or you've heard the name Relly. He is the source of all the evidence in this case, all of it. That the prosecution is going to rely on, he's the source of all the evidence. The 2 assaults you're going to hear about in this case were both committed by this Relly. Both. All the evidence comes through his mouth. Every single piece of evidence for you to decide these charges comes through his mouth.
A$AP Rocky's attorney, Joe Tacopina, told the jury that Rocky is a self-made man, risen from the most humble means to extraordinary successes through work and dedication. Rocky was born in Harlem, raised in poverty. He said he's not only a celebrated artist and fashion icon, but he's a man who raised a beautiful family. He noted there's a stark contrast between Rocky and Relly. He represents a very different narrative, he said. He told the jury the evidence will show that Relly represented himself to the world as a wealthy, successful man. He flaunts a very lavish lifestyle on social media, posting pictures of himself with large sums of cash. It's a fraud, he said.
The evidence will make clear that Relly is trying to leverage a fabricated story to extract money from Rocky, using lies to support these claims.
He said Relly will perjure himself on the stand, and that if the jury doesn't believe Relly, the prosecution's case fails. He said Relly met Rocky when he was in high school, and as the years went on, Rocky started seeing success. He tried to help Relly through collaborations, but that wasn't enough for Relly. Relly was jealous and angry, and as Rocky rejected some of the projects he presented to him, his resentment grew deeper and darker. He told the jury that another member of their group, A$AP Josh, had an untimely death and passed away. Rocky stepped up, spoke to the parents, and offered to cover the costs of the funeral. but Relly believed that Rocky had agreed to pay and never did. He was furious, threatening physical violence against Rocky. Tacopina told the jury that Relly was wrong and that Rocky did pay. On October 16th, a few weeks before the shooting incident, Relly told his friend that Rocky was a piece of shit and said he was going to beat him up. Tacopina said that on November 6th, Relly sought to turn those threatening words into dangerous actions, and he did. In order to address Relly's resentment and have him accompany Rocky and their other two friends, Ills and Twelvey, to the music festival the following day, Rocky reached out to Relly multiple times. He said Rocky wanted him to go, that it was sort of a celebration of the ASAP crew. Tacopina said of course there were urgent messages to Relly, because he was making them late for the festival. He said Relly lied to Rocky and said he was staying at the W Hotel when he wasn't, which was consistent with his pattern of trying to present an extravagant lifestyle.
But also consistent with his pattern of lying. You'll see Relly committed perjury about that exact reason. And despite Rocky's best intentions, the evidence will show you that Relly was angry when he agreed to meet Rocky that day.
He told the jury they will hear Relly's claim that Rocky pressed a gun to Relly's stomach, chest, and head, but that the independent evidence will show that those are all lies. He said the video will show that it was Relly who made the first physical contact. He said what followed was a very quick scuffle. He said the video will show it was Relly pulling Rocky towards him, not Rocky pushing Relly.
The DA said in his opening, he said that Rocky was pushing Relly. You know who else said Relly was pulling Rocky? Relly said that. Relly in his statement. And when he watched the video, said, yes, I was pulling Rocky this way. That's not a good narrative. So they just changed that.
He said Relly has made prior statements about what happened and that the prosecution is stuck with those. He told the jury that the gun was actually a prop gun.
The evidence will make clear that the object Relly alleged was a firearm was absolutely nothing more than a prop gun. The DA ended his opening statement saying, 12B will tell you that. He'll testify on behalf of Rocky and tell you that. Not just 12B, multiple witnesses will tell you that. Not just 12B. Multiple witnesses will tell you that that was a prop gun. You'll learn that that was a prop gun, also called a starter gun, a blank gun, but it's a type of fake gun. It's used in pop movies and music videos. It's also used to scare off attackers by looking and sounding like a real gun, without actually firing a live round.
He said Rocky was a victim of prior violence, which is why he carried his prop gun. He had been the victim of home invasions, of a stalker at that very time, and a victim of a slashing on his face. Rocky was advised by security to carry the prop gun.
And by the way, folks, listen to this one. Rocky was licensed to possess firearms and licensed to carry firearms in November of 2021. He was licensed by the state of California. He could have legally had his own firearm. He didn't want to carry a real gun, though. Despite his ability to do so legally, he didn't want to carry a real gun. For fear that he would either injure someone or himself.
He said just months prior, in July 2021, Rocky was in a music video with Rihanna that had prop guns in it.
The evidence will show you that Rocky took one of them, which he carried as a security measure, as he was advised to do to scare off potential attackers. And that's exactly what he tried to do with Relly on November 6, 2021. Unfortunately, you hear that Relly was not to be deterred, not scared, because Relly knew that that gun wasn't real. There will be evidence to that effect. And all of Rocky's friends knew that Rocky carried a prop gun for safety. All of them.
He said during the incident, Relly actually called Rocky's bluff and said, "Shoot me," knowing that he couldn't. He played the videos from the encounter again for the jury and walked them through what he says happened. He pointed out that Relly raises his left hand first. He pointed out that in the next frame, Rocky's hand is still down, while Relly's left hand is around Rocky's neck or shoulder. Then Rocky's hand comes up. He said Relly actually told the police, "I pulled him back." Rocky pushing Relly would deny the laws of physics, he said, since Relly outweighed Rocky by about 100 pounds. He said Rocky pointing the gun at his chest and head would have had to happen within seconds of the two being off camera, because none of that was caught on camera. He said then afterwards, Relly was pursuing Rocky, Ills, and Twelvey around two corners.
You'll hear that although Relly claimed that Rocky had a real gun, now, Relly not only continued to follow the guy with a real gun, but he followed and yelled at them and berated them and told the Ills, "You're a crackhead," and told Twelvey, "You live in the projects, you're not successful like me," and told Rocky, "You're a bitch." So the guy who supposedly pulled a real gun on him, and now apparently someone else has a knife too, and they're running away from him, he's chasing them, antagonizing them.
He said even the police questioned Relly's story and asked why he would have continued to follow them if Rocky had pulled a real gun on him. Relly told police, "I don't know." He said when Relly finally caught up with them, his anger and hatred came to a boiling point, and he attacked Ills. Rocky then fired his prop gun twice, hoping the sound would be enough to scare Relly and protect Ills. He said car alarms went off after the shots. Twelvey told Rocky to get out of there. Rocky is a public figure, and they were now drawing attention. Rocky left the scene, and Twelvey went to check on Ills, who was even smaller than Rocky. Tacopina said Ills's face after this was a hot mess. He said even after Rocky left the scene, Relly continued to attack Ills.
That sort of is a problem for them. I mean, this guy was claimed he was shot at one point, and he is still attacking the guy that he started to attack before there was any warning shots fired. He's still attacking, not to be deterred by any star pistol or real bullets from him.
He said that after the incident, Relly hatched his extortion plan.
What you'll learn is that Relly returned to that scene an hour later. He returned to the scene an hour later. And he attempted to fabricate evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is some offensive stuff. It's going to be crystal clear to you. He attempted to fabricate evidence. You hear Relly's claim that he came back to the area an hour later with his girlfriend, Lydia Parker, and that while they were there, he quickly found two shell casings that Rocky fired right there, picked them up, and he found them. And then he videotaped them. An hour later. You will see that story fall apart so hard.
He said before Relly went back to the scene an hour later with his girlfriend, police responded after receiving reports of gunshots being heard. According to Tacopina, they scoped out the area and carefully searched every inch.
Police searched the exact same spot where Relly claims he picked up the bullets. Not close to it, not near it, the exact same spot. Thank God there's videotapes.
He put up camera footage of 7 police officers searching the scene where the shots had been fired and where Relly said he found the casings. He then showed the footage of Relly in that exact same spot when he returned an hour after. He said police never found any evidence that any real guns were ever fired. He told the jury Relly says his girlfriend was with him when he returned to the scene, but the girlfriend wasn't on the surveillance video with him. Unless she's a ghost, he said, then she wasn't with him.
Thank God for those surveillance videos.
So what did Relly first do with the videos he took of the shell casings, Tacopina asked. He sent them to Rocky and Rocky's manager and said, I'm gonna be rich.
That was his first thought. I'm gonna be rich. I mean, here's someone who basically claims he was shot. That was the initial shot. He miraculously recovered the evidence from the crime scene that the police couldn't find. And he didn't go to the police. His first thought was, I'm going to be rich.
He said Relly testified under oath at an earlier hearing in this case, and that he lied about the text messages he sent. It's lie after lie, he said. Tacopina told the jury that after his immediate efforts to extort Rocky failed, Relly decided to go get a civil lawyer and get money that way.
And you'll hear that because the civil lawyer would only take his case if he went to the police. Relly then went to the police 2 days later. 2 days after the incident, he finally goes to the police. And you'll learn of the inconsistent statements he made to the police because he couldn't keep the story straight. It is all over the place.
He said the photo of Relly's knuckles showed that they were scraped, not shot.
You'll hear this ridiculous claim like the one about him being shot. And you saw that picture. The supposed proof of him being shot, the knuckle scrapes, the superficial knuckle scrapes across his knuckles, which are consistent with him doing what you see in the video, attacking somebody, attacking pills. That did not feel by the way. But attacking somebody and punching and scraping a knuckle on the ground. What kind of bullet does that? Hits one knuckle, bounces down, hits another knuckle, bounces down again. I mean, it's ridiculous that he said that. He got shot. That was his first story. Now you hear that back off way off that thing now. You'll hear his ridiculous claim about that injury, that it was a gunshot wound that required medical attention, he first said. Of course, now the DA just said to you, oh, you don't have to decide at the end of this case if you got shot or not. You don't have to decide. Don't worry about it. Not that easy. Not that easy. You do have to decide because his credibility is at issue here. You have to decide if he was lying, if he was embellishing, if he was making up a story to get money. So if he says he got shot, and you find he didn't get shot, you do have to decide that.
He told the jury that at this very moment, Relly has a lawsuit against Rocky, seeking $30 million.
$30 million for the knuckle scrape. $30 million. It's not a lot of money. Not justice. Oh, he also claims that he has a permanent disability. Permanent disability from the knuckle scrape. I mean, he lies about almost everything in this case.
He said Relly even claims that he went for necessary treatment for his injury to a hospital, but not here in LA where he was, quote, shot. He flew to New York and went to a hospital many days later after getting a civil lawyer and being told by the detective that he should go to the hospital.
Not to make sure you don't lose use of your hand, not to make sure your knuckles heal. The detective said you should go to the hospital for this case. The detective, it's going to be undisputed, told Relly to go to the hospital for this criminal case. Do you think they're trying to build a case? Is that what we do? We instruct victims to go to the hospital to make it look better? Those scrapes are no more proof of a real gunshot than those shell casings that the 7 officers did not find are. And what else did the police not find after Relly turned in the shell casings over to them, finally, after walking around with them God knows where for 2 days? What else did the police not find? You'll hear that the police, despite examining them for fingerprints, they didn't find Rocky's on them. Because bullets, metal, capture prints. So if someone loads a bullet into a gun, that prints are on that. Not Rocky's.
He said the shell casings apparently had no prints on them whatsoever, as if they had been wiped completely clean. but he said Rocky's DNA wasn't on them.
Never connected to the shell casings. As I mentioned, he was licensed to carry and possess firearms. You'll learn that he legally possessed firearms, which in fact were recovered from his home. You saw that whole bunch of pictures. He had firearms legally in his home. No problem. Police did a search, they recovered them. No problem with the police. The evidence will show you that none of those firearms recovered were 9mm caliber. Because he didn't have one. You'll learn that the 9mm caliber of the shell casings that Relly claims have recovered from the scene, exactly the type of gun that Rocky didn't possess or own. You'll hear, and you heard from their opening, that there was a single magazine containing 9mm ammunition in his home. And you learn that belonged to his manager, Lou Levin, who will tell you, he will be here and testify why that was his. He also was licensed.
He said most importantly, when it comes to the 9mm magazine recovered from Rocky's house, the ammunition was completely different from the casings that Relly claims to have found and then turned over to the police.
You'll learn that the 9mm ammunition in Rocky's home was a brand called Sig Sauer, and the Relly shell casings that he claims to have found at the scene, that the police missed, were a brand called Federal. I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to show you the pictures.
He displayed photos showing the jury the difference between the two. He told the jury the prosecution won't be able to meet their burden. The first witness in the case was Sergeant Thomas Zizzo with the LAPD. Sergeant Zizzo was the first officer on the scene on November 6, 2021, and his testimony here made a lot of headlines, not necessarily because of what he said, but because of the fact that his mom is Erica Jane Girardi from the reality TV show Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Sergeant Zizzo testified that the call he responded to was a possible shooting call. His body camera footage was shown to the jury. He spoke to multiple potential witnesses who heard the shots and saw the group of men. One of the witnesses said maybe it was gunshots he heard, or maybe it wasn't. He testified that after searching the area, he asked another officer if he found anything, and he said no. He said he also didn't see anyone who matched the description of the suspects.
At that point, we're looking for evidence of a shooting. In that specific scenario, vehicles with windshields and windows that are destroyed, flat tires on vehicles, damage to vehicles, impacts from firearms.
Did you see any of that?
We did not, no.
Okay. Did you find any victims in the parking lot?
No.
Would you describe the parking lot as nearly full of cars?
Yes.
He was asked how he would characterize the search he and his partners did of the area.
I would say typical of responding to a shooting call. We're looking for victims that are down. We're looking for witnesses who can direct us to suspects or victims who are down. We're looking for damage to vehicles or buildings, impacts, right, from gunfire, those sorts of things.
Would you say that you and your partners searched every inch of that street?
We didn't search every inch of that street, no.
Okay.
Can't say that.
As you sit here, can you say to a certainty that there was not a fired cartridge case in that street on Vista Del Mar?
I can't say that I may have missed something. It's possible.
On cross, Sergeant Zizzo reiterated that he found absolutely no evidence of a shooting.
And of course, to be clear, that includes no evidence of a shell casing in the property, correct?
Correct, that includes that as well.
Thank you very much for your time.
It didn't take long before the accuser and alleged victim in the case, Terrell Efron, also known as ASAP Relly, would take the stand. Terrell Efron, also known as ASAP Relly, told the jury that he and Rocky were friends in high school. He was asked if he saw him nearly every day. He said yes, up until Rocky got famous. He described a phone call from November 5th, 2021, which he overheard as he was in a car with a mutual friend. He heard Rocky say he doesn't fuck with Relly, that he's mad emotional. Relly testified that it was a long time ago, but that he recalled Rocky saying something like, "I'll beat him up," or something like that. He said Rocky had no idea he was in the car. He was asked if at the time there was tension between him and Rocky. He responded that it was really hard to have a relationship with him. "I feel like he's fake," he said.
How so?
He lies a lot. Like, I don't see him, so it's like, how are we gonna have a relationship? You know what I mean?
Is there anything specific that you can think of?
Yeah, with like my companies or just anything, like overall. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had this one job I call Mr. 6 Month Man, because I was seeing him every 6 months. You know what I mean? But then when you come around, it's like, it's fake. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to be in this ASAP thing for? It's all smoking mirrors.
Did you actually voice your displeasure to him?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Through text messages. But nothing ever like threatening him or anything, just mostly telling him like, you gotta tighten up, this shit fake.
But you would text message him and say...
And he won't text me back. He would never text me back.
He was asked if he had plans to go with Rocky to Complex Con the following day, and he said no. He was in LA to meet with his artist. He described the missed calls and text messages he received from Rocky, Ills, and 12E as he was sleeping that night. He said he answered a FaceTime call, and Rocky kept asking where he was. They decided to meet up. Relly said he thought they were just going to talk and hash things out. He was asked if he had problems with Rocky like this in the past, and he said no. He never had any problems with Rocky, but that Rocky had a problem with him. He described walking down the street to meet up with Rocky when he heard Rocky's voice.
I heard him say, "What now, pussy?" But it's been so long, so what now, pussy, or what now? Like, something along that. Like, he was like, "What now?"
And what was his tone of voice?
Oh, he was loud. Like, that's what caught my attention.
After hearing Rocky's aggressive voice, he saw him walking towards him. Rocky had his hoodie up over his head, which caught him off guard. Ills and 12E were right behind him.
Were you approaching him of the state of mind that you were going to have a physical fight with him?
No, the whole time, to be honest, I would never fight Rocky. And that's God's honest truth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a reason to fight him. We're in an industry where you get blackballed really easy. I'm obviously on the lower end of the stick here. You get what I'm saying? So that's why in the video, you notice I'm a lefty. I pushed him away with my left. He grabbed me with 2 hands. If I wanted to fight him, and mind you, you're walking. If I wanted to fight him, I would have hit him with the right. You get what I'm saying? And it would have been fighting. Like, I stopped him with my left.
He said he knew if he physically fought with Rocky, his career would be over. Not only with ASAP, but he said no one would do business with him. Relly walked the jury through the video of the altercation. He said Rocky grabbed him by his collar. He was talking, but Relly couldn't remember what he was saying. He said Rocky sounded angry. Relly said he responded back to him, but couldn't remember what he said either. He said he was angry that Rocky was tugging at his sweatshirt. He told the jury that Rocky had a gun in his hand. He couldn't remember which hand, but that it was a black semi-automatic.
Have you ever seen that gun before?
No.
Did you know the defendant to carry guns regularly?
Not really. I think one time he said I seen like on his wallet he had like a firearms in New York one time or something like that, but I don't remember ever seeing like or knowing, like physically knowing.
Okay. I mean, like, did you personally see him with a gun on occasions before this?
No, he has a lot of security.
Okay. Did you, if someone said that the defendant was known to carry a prop gun or fake guns, would that have been knowledge that you personally had?
No, he don't carry fake guns. You don't. Prop guns?
Yes.
No.
You never knew him to carry a prop?
No.
did you ever know him to have any guns? And I don't mean, now I want to kind of broaden it, so not that he would carry in public, but guns that he would have either at his house or anywhere else.
Not to my knowledge. I never physically seen any guns on Rocky.
He said when the two men moved off screen, that's when Rocky pointed the gun at him.
What was the first thing that you saw him do with the gun?
Oh, he pointed at me, and then that's when Elijah was like in between, and he's like, I'll kill you right now, pussy, or like whatever, like just was, and then I'm right behind Elijah, and I'm saying, if you brought a gun, use it then. Like, the fuck you brought a gun for, pussy? That's the words I was saying to him.
When you said he pointed at you, where on your body was he pointing?
Like towards my stomach, like towards like my headish a little, like everything was happening so fast, you know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of
no. He was looking for a spot to shoot.
Okay.
Like if Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would happen.
And you said as he was pointing it at you, what did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that in an angry tone?
Yeah, he was livid.
Was his voice elevated? Like, was he yelling this at you, or was this something he was saying quiet?
Yeah, because we was yelling back and forth at this point.
All right. And you said that after he pointed the gun at you, you became angry, correct?
Yeah, I became furious.
So what did you say back to him?
I told him to use it.
Why did you?
Because mentally, like, I couldn't believe he just pulled the gun out on me. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you better use that shit. What the fuck you got a gun for?
Can you explain, I want, as best you can to the jury, explain to them what you mean by, I can't believe you just pulled a gun on me. What is that? What do you mean by that?
Like, I physically cannot believe there was a gun in my face. Like, that was the breaking point for me. Because like what I said, I told this kid numerous times, if you have a problem with me, let me know. You know what I mean? I feel like this got to the max. Like, this was like no return. So, if I was willing to die for my respect at this point, I don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like, if this is what you want to do, I still have my dignity. That's how I felt.
You're saying, I can't believe he did this to me, though. Did you ever think that he would actually shoot you?
At that point, I don't know. Like I said, I was just so mad. I seen a gun. I didn't care.
And so, when you told him something to the effect of to shoot you, I mean, did you have a death wish at that moment? Did you want him to actually shoot you?
Oh, of course not.
So why did you say that to him?
Because I was just so mad. I seen this man just pull a gun out on me. You know what I mean? Like, I was furious. Like, what the fuck is a gun? What are you doing with a gun?
He was asked if he said to Rocky, put that fake gun away. He said no.
Is that something that you would say to him?
No, why would I say put that fake gun away?
Or why does that confuse you because you don't know him to actually carry a fake gun?
It's just confusing me all around.
The incident that we see as it's captured on the surveillance video, from the time that the two of you first come to each other to the time where he puts the gun away and walks away, is that the total amount of time that this incident took?
What do you mean?
Meaning, after you all walk off camera at the end of this clip, was there anything else that you remember that happened at the parking garage, or was that he just walked away?
Okay, so right after Elijah's still next to me, and I look off to the right, and I see Jamel putting like kind of kneeling down, which is 12E, ASAP 12E. And I see him putting away a knife. So at this point, mentally, I'm already fucking furious, right? See Jamel putting a knife away. So I'm like, what the fuck you got a knife for? That's exactly what I say. I see Jamel putting out, what the fuck you got a knife for? Because I'm thinking this stuff, okay, if me and Rocky got a problem, it's a white flag situation. The other two should not be interacting. If anything, they're going to be de-escalating or breaking it up. So to my knowledge, I'm like, oh, hell no.
He said he was mad after Rocky pulled a gun on him, and he was mad that Ills and 12E were there too. Rocky and 12E began walking away, with Ills and Relly slightly behind. Relly said he wasn't really following them, but they were still talking and walking together.
Now, from what you described, going down to the end of the street, making a left, and going all the way to the stop sign, at that point, you knew he had a gun, correct?
Yeah, I knew he had a gun.
He had just shown it to you.
Yes.
And was it that entire walk, that entire time that you were expressing to him how you feel?
Yes.
In what you already described as an angry tone or an elevated tone?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Why would you follow behind someone that you know is armed with a gun and verbally tell them how you feel in the way that you did?
I told you already because I felt like I would never see him again. And I felt like since he put it away in one busy street in Hollywood, like he's definitely not going to shoot this shit. I mean, shoot it.
So you, at that moment, did not believe that he would shoot you?
No.
He said at one point, as he was walking behind them, he saw Rocky turn around and point the gun.
So I see Rocky turn around. When he turned around, he was like, kind of looked like a movie. The whole thing looked like a movie, like, you know what I mean? So he kind of like pointed down, he shot the first shot. When he shot the first shot, I felt my hand hot. So I grabbed him, used him as a shield. He's going around trying to shoot me between the hills. 12 feet, off to the side. I'm not really worrying about him. I'm just trying to like not get hit at this point.
He said his left hand, right below his knuckles, felt hot. When he grabbed Ills to use him as a shield, Ills was screaming, "No, no, no." Relly said Ills was petrified and said, "I could have gotten killed."
Then, after the first gunshot, what did you see the defendant do? Physically, what did he do with his body?
Oh, he's running up, and he shot again.
What is running up mean?
Like he's running and shooting, like he's trying to like find. He's trying to look for a way to shoot because if I wasn't grabbing the Ills, I mean.
Did he physically come closer to you?
Yeah. And he got close.
You're saying
the whole time it was close, but he got really close.
You were saying that he was trying to move motion around Ills, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
He said Ills fell to the ground, trying to get away from him. Relly said he dropped with him. It was at this point that the car alarms were going off, and Rocky ran away.
As the defendant was shooting at you, was it your belief that the gun that he was using was a real gun or a fake gun?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Did you believe, as the defendant was shooting at you, that he was shooting a real gun or a fake gun?
Oh, it was a real gun.
And what led you to believe that it was a real gun?
I mean, I was hit. I was hit.
Is there anything else about it?
I wouldn't know the difference between. I mean, I don't know how would you somebody shooting at you. I don't know how to answer that. Kind of.
Okay.
He described how he went back to the scene and collected 2 shell casings. He took photos and videos of them, and then turned the casings in when he went to the police station 2 days later, on November 8th. Relly was shown a text message he sent to Rocky after the incident. It was a photo of a shell casing. He was asked if he sent that within minutes of finding it, and he said yes. The prosecutor said the photo was taken at 11:55 p.m., and he sent it at 11:58. Relly then wrote to Rocky, just after midnight, "You tried to kill me." Then he wrote, "You should have killed me." Then he sent him a screenshot of Rocky's prior text messages, where Rocky asked him where he was, said, "Let's get to it," and "Stop ducking my calls." Rocky responded, "Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you telling people I shot at you?" Rocky then added a question mark to the text message Relly had sent him that said, "You tried to kill me." Relly texted him a photo of his hand. Rocky then added a question mark to Relly's text that said, "You should have killed me." Relly then wrote, "I dead loved your dumbass," and then, "Y'all set me up and tried to take me from my daughter." Rocky responded, "I tried to do what? I know you hate me. I hate you too." Then Rocky wrote, "Stop making shit up, bro." "I got vid," Relly responded. He testified that he meant the video he had taken of the shell casings. Relly texted Rocky again, "See you soon." Relly then sent him another text, telling Rocky to stop texting him, that he lost it. Rocky replied, "Love me but talk shit about me, shit on me, let me get cut, and still ain't cut you off. You been an op. You don't love me because we don't do business, so it is what it is. Then Rocky wrote that Relly was trying to extort him, saying he shot at him. Rocky called him a phony and said he doesn't have the best intentions. Stop calling me and texting my manager. Call the police if I shot at you, you weirdo. On cross-examination, Rocky's attorney, Joe Tacopina, asked Relly if money was of particular importance to him. Relly said no. You need it, but no. Tacopina asked him if in November 2021 he told a man named Wally that he was a millionaire.
What?
You do not understand my question.
I don't understand this. Yes, no, I don't know.
You got all three in there. Yes, no, I
I'm
don't.
talking about 21. I told somebody I do so much stuff. I don't know what's the content of what you talking about.
Okay, you know a guy named Wally?
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 Okay, so what? I'd probably say yes or no. I don't care. Like, what just,
You probably said yes, no, I don't care. That's your answer?
what is me being the... I don't get it, but no. Yes, no, I don't know.
Pick one. Pick one for the jury. Anyway.
I don't know. It's been so long. I can tell people whatever I want. If I'm a millionaire, not a millionaire, like what? I'm not a millionaire, but what does that got to do with this case?
Efron, just answer the question. He asked you a yes or no question. Ask the question.
But I don't want to get so wrong. I don't know what is he.
Listen to the question, and just the answer is either going to be yes, no, or I don't know. No, I don't know. Ask the question.
Sure. In November 2021, did you tell Wally, the Jim, we know who he is, right? You got it.
Okay, yeah.
Did you tell him that you were a millionaire?
You gotta show me I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Tacopina asked if it's important to him that he portray a very lavish lifestyle, and Relly said no. Tacopina brought up that on direct, Relly said he didn't have social media anymore, but that he still maintains an Instagram, in which one of his highlighted stories is titled Lifestyle. The thumbnail for that highlighted story is a private jet. Another story shows a jacket and says, "If it ain't about money, I ain't liking it." Another image involved Relly in a Mercedes, and it read, "More funds is the focus right now." Tacopina also asked him about how his girlfriend sent him $2,000 on November 8th, 2021. Relly agreed that she likely did. Tacopina asked him if she ever gave him $24,000 in cash in October 2021. There was an objection, which the judge sustained, saying it had taken place prior to the incident. Tacopina continued to ask Relly about his finances, asking him if he had $4,000 in his bank account in September 2021. Relly responded that he had multiple bank accounts and couldn't remember the amounts. Tacopina asked Relly more about text messages he sent hours after the incident. Just after midnight, he sent a text message to Rocky's manager, John. He included a video of the shell casings. He said Rocky shot at him.
And then you sent subsequently, 34 minutes later, you sent John a screenshot of your scraped fingers. Remember sending John that?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that same time, again, guys, 12:38 a.m. on that same date, you sent John a message saying, "I'm getting itch." You remember that message?
Yeah, I'm getting itch. It was a typo.
Relly said he had been trying to say irritated instead of rich.
So what you're saying to this jury is that you didn't mean to write that you were getting rich, right?
I don't recall.
Okay? You're not saying that you didn't mean to
I don't recall, sir.
Just don't recall. Okay. So you may have been meaning you were writing to get
I
rich.
don't recall.
He agreed that he sent a text message to a friend on November 7th, saying he wanted to get this guy's money. He was asked if he was upset with Rocky because Rocky disregarded some of his projects. "No, never," Relly responded. Tacopina then brought up a proposed project that Rocky seemingly didn't respond to in August 2021.
Well, you remember Rocky not responding fast enough for you, and
You don't gotta respond fast enough. I don't care.
And you sent over in there. You remember sending a group chat, a message into that group chat 12 days later on July 24th, on August 5th, saying, "Fuck Rocky, calling him a fake ass N and fucking goofy. Remember that?
You gotta say the whole thing. If it was 12 days later, that means I'm definitely tired of getting lied to, bro. So you gotta say the whole thing. You can't just make it look one-sided.
Stop.
Relly insisted he never had any animosity towards Rocky, including to this day. Tacopina pulled up a text message from September 2021, about 2 months prior to the incident. It read, in part, "Fuck everything about you, you fake ass," and then he used a slur. And then he wrote, "I dead hate you, sucka ass."
Remember sending that message?
Bro, this is in 21.
I understand. Everything we're talking about here today is in 21. Every text message you showed me yesterday was in 21.
Yeah, but you asking me now, do I remember? You're not showing me nothing else containing to the text message, so I probably did right there. Is that for me?
That's for me. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So is that Wishy-Washy with Love? You wrote that?
I mean, you're not showing me the rest of the conversation, so I can't really...
Was that Wishy-Washy with Love?
Yes.
That was Wishy-Washy.
Yes.
Sucker ass game.
Yes.
It was kind of hard to hear the ending there, but Tacopina asked, "So that was sent with love?" And Relly said yes. Tacopina attempted to introduce a recording between Relly and someone named Wally. Relly listened to the first couple seconds of it and said, "That's not me, it's fake." The judge told Tacopina to move on. In his opening statements, Tacopina had told the jury that Relly was angry that Rocky had said he would pay for a mutual friend's funeral and then never did. Relly testified that he was just disappointed, not mad. Tacopina put up more text messages that Relly had sent to friends. One was from July 2021. Relly wrote, "Exactly my point. F you and ASAP, fake ass." Then a slur. Then Tacopina asked him about messages that Relly had deleted from his phone before turning his phone over to the police. Relly first said they were fake and that he had never seen them before. But after Tacopina explained that the messages were from him, he remembered them. When Tacopina asked why he had deleted them, the prosecutor objected, saying, "Facts not in evidence." The judge responded by asking Relly to clarify if he had deleted them.
Did you delete that text from your cell phone?
Yeah, but I deleted it because I had to go with it.
Did you delete it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prior to the incident and prior to Rocky's "Where you at?" text message, Relly had sent him, "You got all this fake animosity towards me, LOL, beat me up. I wish you would. Give me a reason. You been pussy." Relly testified that he doesn't remember why he deleted them. Relly was asked what Rocky said to him as he was pointing the gun at him. Relly said Rocky was saying, "I will kill you."
In fact, when you spoke to the district attorney only 1 year later, in November of 2022, on tape, what you said was, you don't remember what he said because it was so long ago. Isn't that true?
I mean, that's pretty much a tactic you had since day one, drag it out. But if I'm refreshed, I can remember. It's been 3 years. If he was innocent, he would be home a long time ago.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know.
All right. There's no question.
Relly was asked if he ever said his lawyer told him he would only take the civil case if he went to the police, and Relly denied that. When confronted with his prior testimony, he agreed that he probably did say that. When asked if he told his friend Wally in April 2022, "I don't give an F about no police," Relly said he needs to know the context and that he doesn't know. When asked if he told Wally, "The end game, I'm suing the shit out of Rocky," Relly said he doesn't know. He was asked if he told people that if Rocky paid him millions of dollars, he would make the criminal case disappear. He said no. Tacopina asked him if he said the following to Wally, quote, "He's going to have to deal with that and his political ties and everything else, because once I walk away when I get my cash, the case gets weaker. It's just like a domestic violence case. If you hit your bitch and your bitch wants to keep going through with the situation, you'll go down. But if you're not there, then they're going against the state and it's way weaker. If I'm not there and he pays me out through my lawsuit, I'll walk away. It's going to be hard for the DA to find me because I'm going to be on another island just relaxing. You get what I'm saying? They're going to be scrambling to find me because now they have to go against Rocky. And yeah, they have evidence of this, that, and the third, but it's not going to be the same when you present it to the jury and you don't have the complaining witness. Relly said no, he never said that. Tacopina brought out another recording between Relly and Wally. After listening for a few seconds, Relly said, "That's not me." "Is that fake also?" Tacopina asked. "You tell me. You keep putting all this fake stuff in front of me," Relly replied. He said he only knows Wally and that he asked him one time to get him verified. He said Wally always would keep the conversation going, and now he knows why. "But I thought you said the conversations were fake," Tacopina said. Relly said Wally would ask him how he's doing, saying, "You and Rocky were my brothers." He said it was weird and that Wally was baiting him and spoofing his voice or something. As for why he didn't go to the police right away after it happened, Relly said he's not good with the police. Now, oftentimes during this trial, and especially during this cross-examination, Joe Tacopina and prosecutor John Lewin clashed, with the judge often having to get involved. At one point, prosecutor Lewin called the prop gun defense garbage, and Tacopina said they would find out what the jury thinks. Also, oftentimes, the judge would tell them to stop and say, "This is a no squabble zone." When cross-examination finished, prosecutor Lewin asked Relly more questions under redirect, and then Tacopina got to recross him. By then, a couple days had passed. One of Tacopina's first questions was if Relly had called Wally during a lunch break during trial. Relly said no. "Did you call him after court?" Relly said yes.
Why'd you call Wally?
Because, you guys is just lying, lies after lies. You can't back it up. These guys, we
can't back it up.
You can't. You can't.
Did you hear the tape recording? Did you say fake?
All right, stop. Ask another question.
I guess we'll see about that, right?
Your Honor, sustain.
A little later, Tacopina again tried asking him about text messages. Relly was again seemingly frustrated.
After the incident, where you text Rocky and his manager John, saying you tried to kill him. You remember being asked those questions by Mr. Rizzo?
I'm sorry, I don't get what you're saying. It's not clear. It's double negative. I don't get what you're saying right now.
It's a double negative?
It's not really clear. You're not making no sense. I'm not going to answer something I don't understand anymore.
Do you remember? I'm going to break this slow. Do you remember?
We got all day.
Do you remember being asked by Mr. Presloming a few minutes ago today about text messages you sent?
Okay.
With me so far. Are you with me so far?
Yo, you're annoying, bro. Just come on.
Are you with me?
We didn't even get to the case. Right. What are we doing here?
Are you keeping up? Stop. Are you keeping up with the question?
I can't keep up with him. I can't take him serious.
No. You got to answer the questions. He asks the questions. He's beginning to ask you a question. He just wants to know if you're keeping up with him. Just ask the whole question.
Sure. You recall being asked by Mr. Presloming a few minutes ago about text messages you sent to Rocky and his manager after the incident saying you tried to kill him.
Yes.
Oh. And you were also saying you tried to kill me. During that same time, you were sending messages saying, "I'm going to get that man's money," right?
Bro, what are we talking about? Are we talking about assault or lawsuit? You keep trying to bring up lawsuit.
He's asking you a yes or no question. Listen to the question and he's yes, no, I don't know, or I don't recall. Go ahead.
At the same time you were saying that, you were also sending text messages saying, "I'm going to get that man's money."
I don't recall.
Tacopina put more text messages Relly sent back on the screen from shortly after the incident.
This morning, November 7th, 6:40 a.m., you sent a message saying to John.
No, that's not John. That's not John. That's my business partner.
Well, that's Justin.
You're lying.
That's Justin.
You know that's Justin. You're not even putting names next to it.
So what you said to him that same time...
But you just lied.
Stop it.
Like, what am I having?
Okay.
What am I talking to him for?
Who is this text being sent
I do not want to stay here. Put me on. I'm not on trial. I've been here for 5 days dealing with this man. He just said it was a manager. This is not a manager.
Chill.
I'm ready to fucking go.
Is this text to John or is this to your manager?
This is to my partner. It's my business partner.
Okay, business partner.
So you sent to your business partner at 6:40 a.m. that same morning that you're sending Rocky a message saying to try to kill me. A message saying, I want to get this ends money.
Yes, that's my business partner. He shot me. I have no career.
Earlier during cross-examination, Tacopina had asked Relly if he had shot a 9mm at a shooting range weeks prior to the incident. Relly had responded, definitely not. Definitely not? Tacopina had asked. You heard me. Definitely not, Relly had replied. Tacopina had then introduced a video of Relly in fact shooting a 9mm in October 2021, weeks prior. Relly had said, I said unless I was at a shooting range. The prosecutor had then asked for a stipulation that the shooting range in question was outside of California. Relly had said he wasn't sure where it was, but probably in New Jersey, not Los Angeles. Now, Tacopina told the court that Relly had called the DA the day prior, wanting to clarify some information in his testimony. He said the shooting range was in LA. He said he had looked at his Instagram and saw that it was. Things get a little heated in this next exchange, and you can actually hear the judge step in again and yell stop at Relly.
You told Mr. Zolman that you had gone back and reviewed your Instagram and that you now recall that the video was recorded in Los Angeles on October 19, 2021. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Ms. Efron, there is nothing in your Instagram that shows you in Los Angeles on October 19, 2021. Is there?
Yes, it is.
Really? I'm going to give you a live phone. You show me on your Instagram, show me on your Instagram where it shows that you're in Los Angeles on October 19, 2021.
What do you mean a live phone?
A phone. Your Instagram. We're going to go to your Instagram.
No, we would have to go see. Now you think you slick. We would have to go to my phone, my actual phone, and go to my archive. You're not going to show me something of my highlights, which is not there. You think you slick.
Stop. This is...
You're not going to keep tripping me up. I'm on
Mr. Efron! Stop! Just stop talking.
Things went a little out of order on day 6 of A$AP Rocky's trial. Even though the prosecution was still presenting their case, the defense called their first witness, Wally Sajimi. Wally did some work with Relly. He was an IT consultant, and Relly wanted to boost his social media presence by posting articles about this case. Wally testified that he didn't know the facts of the case. He was asked if Relly called him recently, and he said yes, just last week. Wally said he had been following the trial and heard that his name was being brought up. Relly told him that there were recordings of their conversations and that they were fake. He said he was here today because he hated seeing his name being brought up and lies being told. It bothered him that Relly was accusing him of doctoring recordings. He said he would never do that. He testified that he made 2 recordings of conversations he had with Relly and then gave those to Rocky. When asked why he gave them to Rocky, he said he believed they were conversations Rocky needed to hear. He said Relly seemed suspicious and talked about monetary things. Snippets of the recordings were played for the jury. In May 2022, Relly told Wally that he was suing Rocky. Quote, "That was my game plan regardless. I don't give a fuck about no police." Relly also said, "If you ask for a bag without a lawyer, it's extortion. And you gotta do everything accordingly or it's going to catch up with you." In another call a few months later, Relly said he would pay Wally for the social media postings when he gets something. He said he was due $30 million. Here is also where he said that if he walks away when he gets his cash, the case is way weaker, and that he would be relaxing on an island when the DA tries to find him. On cross, prosecutor John Lewin asked him if getting in good with people like A$AP Rocky and Rihanna can be positive for his future business. He said sure. He estimated he made about $20,000 from doing business with Rocky. Detective Frank Flores testified that the pop sounds heard in the surveillance video were the distinct sounds of a firearm, or some kind of replica firearm potentially. The sounds, along with the men's behavior in the video, made it clear to him that a real gun had been fired. But on cross, he conceded that the surveillance video doesn't show that there was an operating gun or prove that there was actually a shooting. After the prosecution rested, the defense called Jamel Phillips, also known as ASAP 12E, to the stand. 12E told the court that it was true that Rocky would carry around a prop gun. He said he saw it one day when he went out with Rocky to a restaurant. When Rocky sat down, he noticed something poking out of his shirt. Rocky told him it was a prop gun. He said another time in September 2021, he saw Rocky with the prop gun again. He told the court that being on the music video sets with Rocky, he often sees prop guns. He saw the prop gun again in November.
According to you saw Rocky before November 6th with the prop gun 3 times.
Yes.
The MV video.
Yes.
The time in Harlem
Harlem.
in September 2021 and then Los Angeles.
Yes.
When you saw the prop gun in September 2021, was it the same as you saw the DMV video?
From what I remember, it was a bit different because now it had a belt clip so you could secure it, and I think it had like a clear clip, like I guess like a replica magazine. Yeah.
And in Los Angeles, did it look like it looked in New York?
Yes.
And that was November 2021?
Yes.
First few days?
First few days, yes.
He said on November 6, 2021, he was with Rocky and Ills. That morning, they worked out, and then they headed out to Long Beach for the Complex Con rehearsals. 12E told the court that they were all supposed to go to Complex Con as a group, as ASAP Collective. It was the 10th anniversary of the ASAP Collective and of Rocky getting signed. While they were there, Rocky was on his phone and said he was going to go talk to Relly. They tried texting him, but Relly wasn't responding. They went back to LA. When they got out of the car, he said he saw Relly coming towards them.
Looking up, I just see like Relly coming down the hill with a little extra momentum, not running or anything, but just a little pep and stuff.
And did there come a point in time where Relly and Rocky met?
Yes.
Okay. What happened when they met?
Well, as soon as they met, from what I've seen, it was just like Relly just grabbed Rocky. It's just as soon as he seen him, just grabbed him.
Okay. And what happened after he grabbed him?
So he's kind of grabbing him, and Relly's a big dude, you know, Relly big. So he's kind of like grabbing him and shaking him. So at this point, Rocky tries to like, I guess grab him too, but grip the floor so he can maintain his balance because Relly was kind of like trying to lift him up by his hoodie.
He said he was surprised when Relly grabbed Rocky. He said they were only supposed to try and have a conversation, not get physical. He testified that he and Ills tried to break it up. He said he never saw Rocky point the prop gun at Relly or press it against him at all. He said he would have seen that if it had happened. He said the two finally separated and he told Rocky they should just go. Relly didn't want to converse with them. Relly then followed them, yelling obscenities. He said Relly sounded angry. He said he and Ills then started yelling back at Relly, telling him he's a crackhead and belongs in the projects. He said Rocky was in front of them, turning the corner, trying to leave. Once they all turned the corner, he heard fast steps, and he turned around and Relly was right there, hitting Ills. After the second hit, Relly tried to hit 12E, but missed.
That's when Rocky shot down with the prop gun to scare Relly off. It didn't scare Relly off. Relly was still hitting Ills.
Did you hear a second shot?
Yes, but by then the car alarms and everything.
Did you see the second shot, Jeff?
No.
After the second shot, he grabbed Rocky and pushed him in the opposite direction, telling him to go. After Rocky went away, 12e turned around and saw Relly hit Ills again and then walk away. Ills got up and they started running down the block. He said Rocky was already gone. Louis Levin, also known as ASAP Lou, also testified next for the defense. ASAP Lou was Rocky's tour manager / DJ and was also involved in Rocky's music career. He had been working with Rocky since 2010. He told the court that he considers Rocky a close friend. His relationship with Relly was up and down over the years. He said sometimes they would be fine, and then Relly would text him obscenities and be very aggressive. Then a week later, he would be nice again. He was asked if he has experience with firearms, and he said yes. He has license to carry and owns multiple guns, which he keeps in his house. He testified that Rocky did indeed carry a prop gun around. He was there when Rocky took it from a video shoot for his song DMB.
Have you seen him take it?
I did see him take it, yes.
When was the DMB music video recorded?
July 2021.
So about a month or two after that May 2021 incident with the assaulter?
Correct, yes.
Now, after the DMB video, how do you know that Rocky carried that prop gun?
I personally saw him and I handled it.
He said he saw Rocky carrying it on November 6, 2021, just hours before the incident.
We were in Long Beach at ComplexCon. We had rehearsals that day for the show, which was the next day, the 7th. During rehearsals, he does like a dress rehearsal where he gets on stage and runs around and rehearses his performance. While he was running around, he handed me the prop gun to hold, so it was safe to do.
And based on what you've seen and heard, did Rocky hide from his friends the fact that he carried that prop gun?
Not to his close friends, no.
And how do you know that?
It was known by everyone. I mean, it was just known that everyone knew. Like his close friend circle, everybody knew that he carried a prop gun.
Have you ever seen Rocky carry a real firearm in public?
Not in public, no.
Now, the prop gun that you've been talking about, what type is it, or was it?
It was a Glock 26.
And did you ever do anything to that prop gun to modify it?
Yes. I added this thing on the side of it called the clip draw, and what that is essentially it lays flush to the slide, and it allows you to put it in your waistband more securely, so if you have to carry it out. And then I also added a clear extended magazine on it.
And why did you put the clear extended magazine on it?
Well, the Glock 26 is a small, subcompact gun. The whole point of him carrying this was to make it look intimidating, to kind of scare people off that were going to try to harm him. So having the clear magazine and extended magazine made it look a little bit more intimidating.
He said after November 6th, Rocky gave him the prop gun. The decision was made for him to no longer carry it, and so Lou then returned it to the co-director of the music video. ASAP Lou also testified that in the summer of 2021, he had brought 2 of his own pistols over to Rocky's house because they were planning on going to the shooting range together. They never ended up going, but he said that as he was loading one of his guns while prepping it, he realized that he had accidentally purchased a Glock 43 magazine for his Glock 42. He said he never bothered to return the magazine because it was only $20. ASAP Rocky decided not to testify, and so the defense rested. Both sides gave their closing arguments, and the case then went to the jury. After about 3 hours of deliberating, the jury in ASAP Rocky's gun trial came back with their verdict. They found Rocky not guilty of all charges. As the verdict was announced, Rocky leaped into the gallery and hugged Rihanna. And that's all for this episode. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. Let us know by joining the conversation on Instagram @CourtJunkie. If you'd like to hear these episodes without the ads, check out our Patreon options at courtjunkie.com/support. Thanks again for listening. Until next time.
Never